on YouTube.
And I click to record. You tell me when we're on. Yes. Okay. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Be very, very welcome to this special session today for ClearSight Method participants. We have a special guest today, Irena Castle. She's from the Czech Republic, but she lives in the United States, and she's a fellow vision teacher or vision educator, I don't know, or vision coach. I don't know which name you prefer to use, Irena. We've known each other now for a number of years. I think we count them in plural. And of course, we know each other from the environment of natural vision improvement, the international community of holistic vision. We've been acquainted in conferences and congresses, and she is also part of the anthology of natural vision improvement that we are preparing together with Nathan Oxenfeld, Orit Kruglansky, and myself and a bunch of authors. There's like about 30 of the most advanced vision teachers all around the world participating in this project, and she's one of the writers. She's going to speak in that chapter of a very similar topic of what she's going to talk about today. It's really a chance to have her present to the community today, so pay attention, and particularly for those who are starting with the ClearSight method at this moment for the group number 8, it is very, very on point to have her presentation at the beginning, because this way you're going to be able to enjoy her tools and her explanations to make the most out of the course as well. Irena, all yours.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Welcome to today's session. Just like Ainhoa said, my name is Irena Castle. I am a vision coach or teacher, doesn't matter how we say it, right? Okay. And I specialize in natural vision improvement as well as sports eyesight development. So everything that you will kind of see today is coming together from these two modalities of traditional natural vision improvement as well as sports, right? Developing vision for athletes. All right. So what are we going to do today? I will, if that's okay, I will go ahead and just jump straight forward into the presentation to make sure that we talk about the subject which is why we're here today, but also so that we have enough time at the end to answer any questions that your students may have.
May I say something before you start? So I would like to invite the people to turn their cameras on. It's always good to see the nonverbal language, also to read the room, see how the understandings are going, see what's going on. And also, if you have questions that rise while Irena is speaking, you can write them to me, because at the end of her presentation, we'll take time to, for Q&A. But it's more difficult for her to see the chat than for me. I'm more used to it. So write the questions to me, and I'll be the one, talking with Irena, making it explicit, etc. Yeah, does that work, Irena?
That would work great. It is difficult to follow the chat while I'm trying to make some sense out of the words that are coming out of my mouth. So this is absolutely going to be easier. All right. Very good. Very good. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. And we will double check that everything's working. Can you still hear me, and can you see the screen?
Yes, it's all working. All good.
Excellent. Very good. So today, the topic that we will cover is called Cover Your Eyes to See. And we will be talking about how to increase the effectiveness of any practices, any techniques, any vision journey that you have put yourself onto. right? You have taken a wonderful step forward. You decided to take your vision into your own hands and do something magnificent for your vision and get yourself on a journey that is extremely unique and extremely rewarded. And at the same time, you have your goals and you want to get there as quickly as you can. So in the first part of the presentation, we will cover the few major things that make it difficult for people to achieve their goals in the most effective and in the fastest way possible. And then after that, we are going to talk about how these inhibitors can be addressed. And at the very end, I am going to show you a tool that was developed to do just that. All right, so those are kind of the three parts of the presentation, and we will jump right in. All right, so let's talk about the inhibitors of vision improvement. What are they? The very first one is tunnel-like vision. What does that mean? You know what tunnel vision is, right? But you also know that you came over here to Dr. Ainhoa's class, and most likely your biggest objective is to improve the clarity of your seeing. Whether that means seeing better up close or seeing better far away, that is individual. You may have some other things that you're trying to address, but most of you are probably thinking, how do I see better the objects that I am looking at? What the inhibitor is that it is basically narrowing the scope of your vision. And on the following slides, I will show you why that is. All right, so you will learn that we need to broaden the spectrum of activities and the context of our vision in order to achieve just the goal that you have in mind. The next inhibitor, the next thing that makes it really difficult to achieve your goals fast is visual distraction. And by that, I don't mean different things coming to your vision, but by that, I mean having two friends who are trying to work together, but who cannot. All right, those friends are your eyes, obviously. So we will talk about this one. And finally, the last thing that makes progress slower is if you don't have the right tools. So we will address that at the very end of the presentation. All right. So let's address tunnel-like vision first. We have two eyes and, oh, I'm sorry. This jumped a little too fast. All right, so we have two eyes and the two eyes have two types of vision. There is the central vision at the very middle. That is the one that serves you in a way or that allows you to see clearly the objects that you want to see. And then we have the other part of the view, which is the peripheral vision, the rest of the field of view of our eyes. So let's have a look at how broad they each are and what they mean. On this slide, you can see that the central vision, the one that provides you with clarity of seeing, is roughly between 6 to 10 degrees of angle. Sometimes in literature, it can be brought up to about 30 degrees angle, but you will see why I believe that it is actually much more narrow. The point over here is that the central vision is very, very small, and the rest of your view, the rest of your field of view, the rest of what you see is being registered in the area of the eye that we call the peripheral part of the eye, which is responsible for peripheral vision. All right, so out of the field of view that can be about 200, for some people even larger, up to 220 degrees of angle. And then for some other people, it is really narrow, up to about 160, 180, which is not desirable, but that is the case today. So out of all of that 200 to 220 degrees of angle, central vision is roughly between the 6 and 10 degrees. Now, you also probably know that each eye can see a little bit different part of the vision field. It's responsible for more than a half. And the part where they overlap, that is what is called the binocular vision. And that is about 120 degrees of angle, 60 degrees to each side when you're looking forward, through over your nose. Very good. So that is kind of the horizontal part. And then when we look at more of the vertical part, because we don't only see horizontally, we also see up and down. So you can see that we have about 130 or so degrees of the vertical field of view. And again, there is a center part of that view, and then there is a peripheral part of the view. So now let's go back to the center part. Why am I saying that there is only 6 to 10 degrees of central vision? On this slide, you can see that the eye, which is on the left, has this little 0 degree angle marked over here, and then it goes to the right and to the left, right? And that little 0 degree indicates an area that is called the macula, or specifically the tiniest spot within it, which is called the fovea centralis. And that is the part of the eye that is capable of seeing with the highest possible clarity. Why is that? If you move your attention to the right side of the slide, you can see that purple spike in the middle, right at the 0 angle, right, 0 degree mark. And that purple spike represents a concentration of visual receptors that are called the cones. The cones are responsible for registering light and therefore for providing absolute clarity. And you can see that that spike is really, really high, right at around the 0 degrees of angle from that macula, from that fovea centralis. So that is where you can see really clearly. And then it drops down really fast into kind of a stable level of roughly around 10,000, maybe a little bit more of these cones per millimeter square. So the concentration goes down significantly as soon as you move away from 5 degrees on one side and 5 degrees on the other side of that fovea centralis. And at the same time, right, so that is why the central view area is really small. Now, when we look at the other lines that represent what is marked there as rods, which are visual receptors that are mostly concentrated in the peripheral part of the view, those are the visual receptors that take over as you go away from the central view and provide you with the context for your clear central vision. All right. So moving into peripheral vision, since we started talking about the rods, what does that really mean? Obviously, there is the horizontal, right, peripheral vision, but there is also a upper periphery and lower periphery. So you know that if you cover your eyes a little bit, you can see slightly to the left, slightly to the right, up and down. Now, we also have different levels of the periphery. We have the physical part of the periphery that has near, middle, and far area, right? Depending on how far you're moving away from the central view. And then there is also what is called the sensorial periphery. And the sensorial periphery doesn't necessarily represent vision in the traditional context. It is not an area of your vision field where you would say, I can see. But if you develop your vision and if you develop it in depth and if you maximize the ability of the rods to recognize the context for your central vision, you're going to start feeling a new level of awareness everywhere around you, even behind your head, right? So you will not be necessarily able to see but you will feel like you're seeing. You will feel like you're highly aware of all of your surroundings. Very good. All right, so what do we have these for? I kind of mentioned a little bit what the purpose of the central vision is and what the purpose of the peripheral vision is, but let's go into a little bit more detail. So the central vision provides you the ability to see, to focus, to see detail, and to see in the light, right? Again, the visual cones are attracting the light and they are transmitting the light all the way to the back of your head into the visual cortex of your brain. Now, what is the peripheral vision for? Peripheral vision, just like I indicated, provides you with context. And like I said, you need the context for your central vision, for your clear vision. Why is that? Well, because we have two eyes and our eyes see everything in the context of relative positions of different objects, relative things that are around us, right? And with peripheral vision that provides you with this context, you are able to distinguish where all the different objects are, how close or far away they are, what is their relative position to each other. And that allows you to actually get good understanding of not only that one little point that is in front of you or little, letter that you're trying to read, but the whole thing in your environment. It provides clarity in the distance. Again, it is very difficult for the visual system to see clearly into the distance without the context, without understanding the relative positions of everything that's around it. So even though you will be working on your clarity for most of your class, that is usually your goal, you will need the peripheral context. It is important in daily life for spatial awareness. You want to know where you are. Spatial awareness is extremely important for balance, for knowing where you're stepping as you go, for example, for a walk, right? You want to make sure that you are aware of the sidewalk, you're aware of what's around you so that you would not be surprised. So it's important for overall safety. Like I said, for balance, having peripheral awareness allows you to be much more grounded in the space, whether you're walking or not. And imagine driving. That's a wonderful example. When you drive, you want to make sure that you are aware of cars coming from one side or another, and you can't always take your eyes away from the road, your central vision away from the road. You need to rely on your peripheral vision to kind of attract your attention to something that might be happening to the left or right as you're trying to change the lane, right? So here is why tunnel-like vision is not something that you want when you are starting to work on the improvement of your overall vision. Now let's address the next inhibitor. The next inhibitor is visual distraction. And I don't mean just something coming into your vision field. What I mean is the fact that we have two eyes. And these two eyes, just like yin and yang, just like the fork and a knife or your two hands, right? They are friends. They need to be friends. They need to be partners to provide you with the vision that you want. We have two eyes in order to have binocular vision, in order to see 3D vision in 3D, so that we can judge distance, so that we can judge speed of different objects, right? And so it is very important that the two eyes work together. However, they are two different personalities. Your left eye and the right eye may be completely different. If you kind of think about them, if you close your eyes and just ask yourself a question, who is my left eye and who is my right eye? You could get an answer such as one is female, one is male, right? One is dominant, one is less so. You can feel like one is vibrant and one is muted. And they are just very different. And because they are different, they almost have different personalities, and they also have different preferences. They have different ways they want to learn. So as you go through your class, as you go through your vision journey, you will learn that it is in many cases preferable to be teaching the same skill to one eye separate from the other, right? So that one is not being distracted by the other, so that the eye that has certain level of skills is not constantly being bothered by the eye that has different level of skills, and so that it can learn on its own and it can recreate a relationship with the rest of the visual system, especially with the visual cortex, with the brain on its own. All right? So I hope this makes sense. We have two eyes, they're each different. And when you learn the new techniques of natural vision improvement, you will want to work with one eye, and then you will want to work with another eye, and then you will bring them together. There are some exceptions, but in general, for many skills, this is the rule. All right? So I will touch on the tools later, but to addressing these two major inhibitors is a process or a master technique that is called selective vision obstruction, right? What does that mean? Selective vision obstruction is a technique that intentionally limits a chosen part of one's vision field, whether it is for one eye or both eyes, so that the stimuli that is coming from the outer world can be directed to the part of the eye that is not covered, right? So imagine that I cover my left eye. That means that all the visual stimuli is coming into my right eye, and that is the area that I can be working with, right? It can be the other eye, it can be all different ways. This is used in most natural vision improvement techniques. And just like I said, this is something that eliminates the distraction, whether it is for one eye versus the other, but perhaps also for some parts of the eye versus others. So we will touch on that right now. What is the significance? It does develop the desired vision skills without the distraction of these other stimuli. And most importantly, it develops a deeper connection between the unobstructed area of the eye and the brain, right? You probably already know, even though you're at the start of the class, that when we learn new vision skills, we are recreating new connections between the eye and the brain, right? And by using selective vision obstruction, this becomes much more effective and it becomes easier, therefore much more efficient. So with that said, what kind of conditions is selective vision obstruction for? Because I know that this is something that everybody wants to know, right? What does it work for? All of the techniques that you will be learning in your class, they are there to address your biggest goals, to get rid of myopia, hyperopia, presbyopia, astigmatism, right? Distorted vision, squint, double vision, many, many others. And doing so using selective vision obstruction is going to make this significantly easier. Now, what are the types of selective vision obstruction? Well, first of all, there is a single eye obstruction, right? And the single eye obstruction means that you cover fully or partially one eye, and then the other eye remains open, right? What it does is that it eliminates the central vision and part of the peripheral vision of the eye and lets the unobstructed eye do all the learning without the interruption of the eye that has been covered. And also, it is important that some of the peripheral part of the eye remains open, and that is because we want to make sure that the context still remains present at all times of the learning. When do we use single eye obstruction, right? For situations like lazy eye, so for activating eyes, for making sure that the two eyes that have perhaps different acuity can learn without the interruption of the other eye and get on par, increase the acuity in one eye versus the other eye. And also, you can do that when you're learning certain new skills and you want to increase, so that if you have difficulty learning certain skills and you want to make sure that you're kind of learning step by step. Now, single eye obstruction, just as indicated, it is achieved by covering one eye or the other. There are different ways to do it. You can do it with Post-its. You can do it with some sort of handmade tools. You can do it with the tool that I will present today. But the principle is that one eye gets covered and the other one stays open. And this is always achieved through a certain type of monoshields. Now, to give you a reference for the future for what you can be using these for when it comes to the techniques of natural vision improvement, it can be the swings. It can be the long swing, the sways. You can use them for sunning. You can use them for target aims, for tromboning, for shifting, for a very, very wide array of techniques. And some students even decide that they like to use these the shields, the single eye obstruction, for longer time periods during the day, just to give one eye the ability to really drive the seeing for a certain amount of time, and then they switch and let the other eye do the same. All right, so that's single eye obstruction. Then what is the other one? As you might have guessed, it is double eye obstruction. And double eye obstruction eliminates a field of view in both eyes at the same time. And it can be a very small portion of the view, or it can be going all the way through the mid-periphery into the far peripheral part of the eye, right? It still keeps peripheral vision open on the outside. That is, again, very important no matter how you train, so that you would stay grounded, so that you would keep the awareness of the space, and so that your learnings can be done in context. And also, if you work with selective vision obstruction, the dual one, you kind of want to slowly increase the level of difficulty so that you wouldn't overwhelm the system at once, and so that the learning could be done kind of step by step. Now, double obstruction is usually used for the development of peripheral vision, for seeing movement, for eye-body coordination. The larger shields, the wide coverage, the more you cover of your middle, of your near and middle periphery, the better you can develop your peripheral vision and therefore your field of view, right? But you can also use very narrow shields, and those narrow shields allow you to engage much more bigger part of the eye, not the whole eye, and they help you with the development of other skills like binocular vision, for example, right? And making sure that both eyes are engaged as they learn, and they are engaged on their own, so that eventually they could learn proper fusion and proper other skills. Very good. So now when we understand what selective vision obstruction is and how it addresses the first two inhibitors, let's talk a little bit about the tools. You know that when you start learning any skill whatsoever, right, you need the right tools. So if you want to learn how to run, or if you want to become an athlete that runs marathons, you probably don't want to do that in flip-flops. If you want to learn a new language, you will most likely either buy a class or a book or audio class or anything else that would help you. If you decide that you are going to cut a tree, you will probably not use a kitchen knife, right? So when you embark yourself on a journey of natural vision improvement, it is always wise to prepare the tools. And I know that you have received a list of everything that you need to prepare in order to be ready. And don't get me wrong, not having the right tools for so many people means that they just stop. They get to a certain point and then they don't continue because they don't have the tools, they don't feel comfortable with it, and they don't get the results that they are looking for. All right. So it is important to have the right tools. And so what I will show you today is a Clarity Eyesight Trainer. It is a vision obstruction system that is designed specifically for natural vision improvement. This tool takes into consideration all the different things or the different principles of natural vision improvement, of which one of the most important ones is peripheral openness. So what is it? You can see on the screen that it's a pair of what looks like sports glasses with a covering shield. The one that you see right now is the dual selective vision obstruction shield, and that is for the development of peripheral vision. Now, the trainer has a variety of shields, right? Because we need to train different visual skills, and so it has several different types of shields. You can see at the very bottom that it has these single obstruction shields that cover one eye, right? And of course, it has one for the other eye. There you go. And then it has multiple of the dual obstruction shields, starting from a very narrow one, going into a wider and even wider one for the development of the far periphery and really pushing your vision field into the maximum. Why are these shields effective? Why are they more effective than certain things that you can just gather at home? Well, first of all, like I said, they were designed for natural vision improvement. I designed them when I started working with athletes, and initially we started working on peripheral vision, on field awareness of, which is necessary for them to be aware of the field, the players, the ball, what have you, right? And then I adjusted this tool to become an excellent tool for natural vision improvement simply for one of these attributes, which is the fact that the peripheral vision remains unobstructed. All right, on all sides, you can see it, and I will actually put one on so you can easily see that anytime you have these on, the context of your vision remains unchanged. Okay, so you can see from the top, you can see from the sides, and you are aware of your lower periphery. Okay. The other benefit that they have is that they are consistent. They are always the same. That benefit is huge for you, and it is also huge for your teacher, right? So as you're going through your vision journey and as you're learning your skills, Dr. Ainhoa knows how she can address you. She knows exactly what you guys see. She knows exactly how to address any sort of difficulty that you may have. And for you, you know that when you put these shields on, unlike other kind of basic paper tools, you know that they're always the same. So they are consistent, and then you can gradually increase the difficulty of your learning. You can start with a very narrow shield, and then you go to the larger one and larger one as you progress and as your development demands. They can also be worn indoors and outdoors. They are designed to be very aesthetically pleasing. So that's one thing. You don't have to be ashamed to wear, especially if you want to go for a walk and wear your monoshield and work on the eye that perhaps needs more acuity development. You do not have to be worried about the looks. On top of that, any techniques that require walking, jumping, running, playing with balls, anything like that can be done very easily because there is a silicone strap on the arms, and that makes sure that you can move right? That the glasses are not going to slide. You know that when you work with anything that is designed for sunglasses, different sunglasses frames, or even sometimes when you have your own glasses, they tend to slide. So these glasses do not slide. And also for those who like to engage in a little bit more physical activity outdoors, there is a strap that allows the glasses to be attached to your face, to be kind of fastened so that they would not be able to move. All right. And then they're always organized. There's a case that they come in. I don't actually know whether you can see me very well, but there's a case over here where you have all of these different pieces organized. And so they're protected. They're always ready. You do not have to have different big bags and baskets of stuff. It's all done and it's all in one place. And if you need to travel, you just take it with you. You will probably ask, how will I know how to use this? How, if I get this tool, or if I start working on selective vision obstruction, if I maximize my learning, how do I know how to do this? And so in order for you to be able to maximize this tool and to really know what are the right moments to incorporate that into the learning, into the course that you're currently engaged in, we provide 6-month free access to a training or program that is complementary and that actually supports the program that you are already in, and that teaches you how to use the trainer, what the right techniques are, when to leverage it, how long, how often. And it also includes some sports-inspired techniques that, again, helps you, especially with the development of peripheral vision, through some little bit more fun activities that involve juggling balls and others, right? All right. People always ask, well, how do I know whether this works or whether it doesn't? So right now on the screen, you just see a few quotes from current students, from people who have already used them. But I can tell you that these have shipped worldwide and people just simply love them. They're very easy to use. They're very easy to maintain. And just the fact that you can take them even for a walk, right? And you can use them daily is a benefit that a lot of people kind of enjoy. All right. So because you're in Dr. Ainhoa's class and we really like to work together, and I trust her teaching and trust the fact that she just leverages this tool to its absolute maximum, I want to give you a little gift if you decide that this tool is for you, if you are serious about your journey of natural vision improvement and you want something that is very reliable without the need of making your own tools, then you can buy the Clarity Eyesight Trainer right now, all the way through Sunday, October 22nd, with $10 discount that covers the shipping in the US. But because I know that there are some students here who are not in the US, and we wanted to make sure that it's kind of fair for all, that is why you're getting a $10 discount instead of just free shipping. And you can get these glasses at the link that is currently listed, or at the link that is being put into the chat, right? And I know that Dr. Ainhoa is going to send the link out again, just so that you have it in case you can grab it right now. And at the checkout, you would be using the code Ainhoa10 for the $10 off. All right. So that is where we are right now. I think, let me just recap really quickly, right? We talked about the need of making sure that you develop your peripheral vision, not only your central vision. That is what is being done with Shield 1, 2, and 3 of this Clarity Eyesight Trainer. We talked about the fact that each of the eyes needs the ability to learn on their own. That is what the single eye shields are for, one for left eye and one for the right eye. The trainer comes with the case, it comes with the little strap, and it comes with the access to the Clarity program that teaches you how to use this. And you will get this access through the link that is presented to you and with the code Ainhoa10. I think that, let's pause here. Ainhoa, I'm going to stop the share and perhaps we take a few questions before we jump onto a couple more slides.
Yes. Also, I want to say that since you created the Clarity trainers a couple years ago, I believe, they haven't been on the market for that long. There's been over 500 people from our community, students of the ClearSight method or Volver a Ver Claro, the same thing in Spanish, that have purchased them, and people are extremely, extremely happy of how well they work. I have several boxes of them, also in pink color. You still have some of the pink ones?
I have a few pink ones left.
Okay. Yes. People fight over them. And they're really, really practical. They're very neat. They're very elegant. They're functional. They're fun. So it may be a good option instead of having falling Post-its over your nose. Sometimes when I do my introductions in the free masterclass, I show Post-its because everybody can find that at home. But even when I'm doing the demonstrations, I have the Post-its falling off constantly. So when you're trying to practice, it's a bit annoying. So there's a few questions here. Brigitte, that is still in the room, Brigitte Van Breugel, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right or approximately. She wants to know if the sheets could be provided, if we could look at the PowerPoint, if we could share it in the community. I mean, the recording will be available and everything's visible in the recording, but since she asked, well, I ask you too.
That's a very good question. Let's talk about how we can do it.
Okay.
But it will definitely be provided through the recording where you can see the whole presentation with the commentary.
Okay, Anupa Mehta is asking if you can ship to the UK and if you have an idea of what the charges would be for the UK.
Yes, so I can ship to the UK, and let me actually jump back to the presentation really quickly, because I think for anyone who is international, it is important that we talk about the logistics.
Okay.
Okay. And you guys can still hear me?
Yes, and see the slide as well.
Excellent. All right. So for international, international is a little bit more difficult than just the US shipping, but we have had people from 28 countries in the world purchase these products. So it does get through and it does work, but it does require a little bit more from you. Customers outside of the USA are responsible for customs duty and import fees. Right? There is no way for us to take care of that. That is always the responsibility of the importer. And the customs and these fees are usually somewhere between $35 and $45, right? So if you decide that you want to ship it outside of the US, the shipping fee is $30. Again, that is something that, you know, we're shipping the most economical way we possibly can, but that is currently the rate. Since COVID, everything went up. And then you will be asked to really pay attention to any emails or any notifications that can come from customs or from the shipping company that will let you know that the product has arrived to the UK or to your country. And then you usually have to respond within certain time period, right? So that they wouldn't ship the product back. So there is some time to be to be had. It's not a 1 or 2 day type of thing, but it is important to start paying attention to your emails, check your spam to make sure that you're actually getting it. I haven't seen any major issues lately. The only country that we have unfortunately had some major issues with was Spain, and we're still working through the difficulties there, where we just were not able to reliably get the product to our students, which I took to heart, and that was really devastating to me. But anyway, but for other countries, we have not seen any difficulties. And so we are willing to ship it. Just make sure that you pay attention to the process.
Okay, Christina is asking, she's saying, I have booked to start my course with you. I suppose you're talking about the ClearSight method. Do I have these gadgets? Well, these are physical products and they're produced by Irena Castle. So when you sign up for the ClearSight method, you don't get the clarity trainers, but I do advise that you get them. You could also use post-it notes and other things, but as Irena explained, these are really very optimized for the stimulation of the eyes separately and together for the peripheral view. You could do without, but I highly recommend them. It's your choice. And if you want to buy them, I just posted for everyone to see the link, the bit.ly clarity-cms, where you can go to the, I don't know if that one goes to the shop or to the...
They go to the shop directly.
They go to the shop. Yes, and you want to make sure when you're placing the order, if you're going to purchase them, to write the coupon Ainhoa 10, and this way you will get $10 off. I'm also posting in the chat the Ainhoa 10 code so that you remember. And Alison was asking, I don't seem to be able to connect the strap into the holes on my trainers, and I'm not sure why. But then you wrote that you were able finally, right, Alison? I'm seeing you showing them. Yeah. So finally it worked. So it's
usually
like
it does work.
very
You should click it in, and then you click this one in, and we're done.
Yes, so it worked. Okay, so that was an easy one to solve. Okay, Alan is asking if this helps with cataracts too.
Yes, so for cataracts, there is always the need to concentrate the light onto the area where the cataract is. There's always techniques that work with, like sunning, for example, and you can use the monoshield to really let the one eye with the cataract to take all of the light in, all of the attention, and then work through the techniques that are designed to relieve the cataract through that, right? Obviously, for palming, you do not need these, but for techniques like sunning or, for cataract, even like seeing movement, right? Making sure that things are moving relative to each other, they are very helpful.
Yes, and if you're wondering about more symptoms, because I know that you showed this slide, where you mentioned nearsightedness and farsightedness and old age eyesight and astigmatism, lazy eye, squint, and double vision. This may be the most typical, but it helps for cataracts. It also helps for glaucoma, where you want to be stimulating your peripheral view, particularly.
Very much.
Yes. So if you have other kinds of eye diseases, I also suggest that you use the clarity trainers to stimulate your eyes in different ways. Gilbert is also having his hand up. So if you'd rather speak instead of typing your question, that's okay too. Go ahead.
Thank you. The slide showed different color lenses. Does this come with different color lenses, or?
Very good question. No, it doesn't. All the lenses are black and they are fully opaque. Okay, they are black, matte, and fully opaque because what you don't want is any sort of reflection. You don't want any light reflection, and the color is only shown to really highlight that there are different lenses. right? So even if you were to receive the packaging, it does show the lenses in different colors, but in fact, they are all opaque and they are all black, just like this one.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. It's an
Okay.
excellent question. Some people are very detailed, right? They notice these kind of things, and that's wonderful.
Haha, you know what question is coming next, Irena? Christina is asking, clearly Christina has seen this presentation before. Are the pinhole glasses ready? I had them in my hands, but Irena is going to show you and tell you all the story about it.
Let's talk. You know what? I will answer this tool, and I will take the chance to introduce the upcoming line extensions. Okay. So I know if there's somebody here who has seen the presentation, you know that we have been working on line extensions for a while. Some of them actually right from the very start when we launched, right? And it does take some time, especially when you want to develop something that is different from every other product that's in the market and that is truly developed by the community of vision teachers. So specifically for the pinhole lenses, I have been talking with many different vision teachers about their needs for the pinhole glasses and what it is that is bothering their students and what are the fallouts of the current products in the marketplace. And I am happy to tell you that we have finished the development. So we're moving to the next phase, which is a pre-production. And then best estimate is in the spring of 2024, we will have them out there for you. Okay, this is still a prototype. It's not black and it's not the very final version, but they will look something like that. And they will be, see, this is a prototype, doesn't have the magnets. It will be insertable into the frame, right? So it will work with the current system. The other product that we have been working on that is very useful for eye activation and for binocular vision development, making sure that both of your eyes are equally participating in the process of seeing, is the nose guard, right? And as you guys know, this was actually an attachment that honestly I made for myself because when I first ever encountered this wonderful idea of separating one's vision field to develop vision skills, we were asked to use like a blue tack or Play-Doh type of thing to attach the card to a sunglasses frame and to use this way, right? So unfortunately, while I believe that I am quite handy, I never succeeded in making it work the right way. And it was falling all the time. And so while it was not the #1 thing that needed to come out with the trainer, this was a tool that I really wanted. So this is actually in pre-production right now, and it is going to launch in the spring, given that everything is fine this time. It has additional benefits. Unlike the product that, or the card that you would put on the sunglasses, this tool actually allows you to angle the shield in any different way, right? So it's going to be easier to see this way. This is important, especially if one of your eyes is more active than the other. And I know that new students perhaps don't know quite yet what this is for and how eye activation works. But in general, to make it simple, right, you want to let the eye that doesn't participate as much, the lazy eye, or they're not always lazy, but the one that sees less perhaps right now, you want to give it an advantage. And so you can angle this card as you work with the vision field, and you can either eliminate more vision field of one eye than the other, or you can make sure that it registers the card that it's supposed to register by simply adjusting the angles, right? So it's going to come with extra benefit. It's not just a holder of the card, just like you would make it at home. So those are the two things that are currently on the verge of getting through. And like I said, the hopes right now, everything indicates that we will be able to launch them in the spring.
Yay, we are so happy to hear that. And I know that Irena has been doing really, really an in-depth research. You at least interviewed 12 or 15 vision teachers, me included, to make sure that all the features were okay. And I also know, because of the several years that we know each other, that for each of the crafting of the pieces of the clarity trainers, you go back and forth, sending the pieces to China where they're produced, and they send them back to you, and you make improvements. So it really is a very long process, but that makes that the product is really a high quality one that is very, very usable, very practical, and that has all the necessary specifications for natural vision improvement. So thank you for making that very detailed work. I know it takes time, and I understand that for some participants, it may be a little bit frustrating to want to have the pinhole glasses or the next thing. But what we know is that they will be amazing once they're done. Once they're in the market, they will be great.
Yeah, it does take some iterations, and you know that vision is not exact science, right? Vision is different for all of us. And so it takes time to not only develop the first prototype, but then to test it with as many people as possible to make sure that that the product actually benefits the maximum number of people. So even with the pinhole glasses, once they're out there, we will have a talk, and I will explain to you the vast improvement on the attributes versus anything that is currently out there, right? And I can perhaps sneak in that the glasses, not only, usually the majority of people who use pinhole glasses are myopic people who want to see far away, right? These are developed to serve not only for myopic eyes, but also presbyopic eyes, which touches so many people, and there are other benefits to them. So we will talk about it when the right time comes. But just like you said, it does take a little bit of time, and I value the input of many students and of the community to make sure that these tools are actually serving the purpose for which they are being designed.
Yes, absolutely. Kat is writing, hello, here is Katerina from the Czech Republic. So she's writing, ahoy. I love the glasses. I will definitely purchase them. Are you planning to sell them directly in the Czech Republic or in the European Union anytime in the future?
So in the future, yes. And I am currently going through the legal process of certification for the EU market. It is a very demanding market from the legal, I guess, perspective, or from the approval perspective. And the process is also very long. So for the time being, just like I said, luckily, we have been able to ship. So we can ship to Europe from here, from the US. But right now, while we are already kind of setting things up, we're not yet fully approved for a traditional EU distribution. So it is in works. And I wish I could give you a date, but I don't have one. This is a little bit out of my hands in a way. So it's a work in progress.
Well, lots of good vibes for that to happen, because that's also something I'm so looking forward to. We have so many students in the Spanish version in Spain that are waiting and looking forward to it. So yeah, these processes do take time, but we'll get there sooner or later. And for those who have the opportunity right now, enjoy, take advantage of it. So Manon is also asking.
I'm gonna say,
go ahead.
Sorry, I don't wanna jump in, in much, but I want to say, if anybody is making the purchase, there are a couple other things that are available in the store. And if you are already going through this process and you do want to make it easy for yourself, consider, and again, I'm sharing, consider the other items that are in the store. So I just want to touch on it to make sure that you know what they are. Again, those are things that you can gather yourself, you can make yourself. But the goal that we have over here in my company is to make things as efficient and as easy for the students as possible. right? So as you go to the store, you will see items like Brock string. There's currently some limited quantity of those available, but you will also see training balls, right? Training balls that are used for peripheral vision development, for 3D vision development, for eye activation, for astigmatism release, right? For all of those techniques, you will want to have the right tools. And again, or the Brock string. Brock string is for eye coordination, for clear visual distance extension, right? All of these tools you will need. You can gather them yourselves, you can make them yourselves, or if you don't want to, you can simply just get them right now, because the shipping is not going to increase, right? So it's kind of beneficial in that way that there is no extra shipping for adding these items in. And for example, for the balls, right, they have certain attributes. Again, they have bright colors, they have white colors, there is contrast, there are smaller letters that you can register. They are made of artificial leather and filled with millet, with natural grain, right? And they don't bounce. So when you practice natural vision improvement, for example, a technique for peripheral vision development, right? You don't want your balls to be bouncing everywhere. And so they're a little bit easier to use. So I just want to tell you that they are there. Again, this is not something that you must have. You can have other tools, but I wanted to make sure that you are aware of them. Right?
Sorry, yes, I wanted to make sure that you would show them, because this feature of them not bouncing is really practical, especially in the beginning when we're not very coordinated yet and the balls tend to fall more often, not having to run around the room to look for them. Yeah. I mean, if they do, you laugh and then you relax by laughing, but they're very, very practical. And the other one, the Brock cord, I don't have yours yet, I think. So I'm using pins for the clothes. Yeah, and when you want to move them, it's also, you spend time trying to put them in the string and they fall. So I see that the system you've developed is really practical to move them. Do you have one that you can show?
You can. Yeah. I will hold it like that. They have 5 different colors. The colors may a little bit vary, right? It's a 10-foot string, and you move the beads to any position you want. They do have a spring on it. So as you practice, right, you do not end up with the beads sliding if you don't want them to slide. And if you do want them to slide, then they can easily slide to whatever position you want them to slide to. Yeah. Right? So
really, thank you. You're
it's
making
just a little improvement versus, the pins and other ways to do this.
Yes, I wanted to thank you, because it really makes things a lot easier, and everything fits in the box. So if you want to have one of the balls here, you can, and you can still close it. You can have your Brock cord here. You'll be able to put the pinholes and the nose holder here, the nose holder card. So instead of having a huge bag of all kinds of things that are all mixed up, or a big drawer, you have your little box and all your essentials are in there. Anyway, so yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, there's another question around here. So there's Manon is asking, I have myopia in both eyes, -5 in the left eye and -7 in the right eye. So great that you can stimulate them separately, because there's a difference between the two. And she says, due to cataract surgery, the right eye is now +75. Will I receive instructions on how to train each eye? So there's 2 things here. One, within the ClearSight method, you're going to have all the information you need for that. And also, when you get the Clarity trainers, there is this access for 6 months, if I remember well, to your little course teaching also plenty of exercises on how to apply and how to use the trainers. And I believe they're short videos or GIFs. So they're
Yes,
like not
yes,
limited by
yes.
language or something, right?
Yes, so that particular class or course or program, however you want to call it, is developed in a way that it can serve anyone in any language, right? So unlike a traditional long course, the all-encompassing course like yours, like a ClearSight method, that really goes into detail and explains everything, and you guys talk and you show long videos to really showcase all the techniques. This particular class is kind of building on it in a way. And what it does is it takes the techniques that Dr. Ainhoa is going to teach you, and it says, okay, how do I maximize this effectiveness? When do I use the mono shields? When do I use the dual shields? If you need a refresher, right? How do I activate my peripheral vision? So it is not a class that would replace a class like Dr. Ainhoa's, which is really extensive and all-encompassing. It is something that is complementary and that focuses on the use of this tool. And like I said, I mean, you will be using them throughout the course. You will be using them afterwards. These things last you forever, and they will be with you for as long as you train your eyes, right? So, but the class itself is focusing on the usage of the tool so that you would know how to incorporate it into your daily practice.
Okay, I think that these are the questions that we've received today. I don't know if you would like to show real quick, if people are interested, like how to go to the shop and how to use the cart. You could even use the link that I posted, where to put the code to get the $10 discount. Maybe that's useful to show.
We can show that. Let me see how that's gonna work. All right, so when you click, let me share my screen. I think it is pretty easy, but I want to make sure that you know how to get to the checkout. Okay, there we go. All right, so when you click on the link that was provided in the chat, right, it will take you to this page. And when you go in, you choose the product that you want to see. So let's say the Clarity Eyesight Trainer. They do come in 2 different colors, right? One is pink, which is a limited edition, and one is the traditional color that we have. So we will click on the Clarity Eyesight Trainer, and it will open a new page. And of course, it is slow, because it always is. It's going to load a bunch of pictures that are part of it. There we go. And so you can look at all of the different attributes of it. But once you're ready, you check the quantity. Most people want 1, right? Unless you want a gift for someone for Christmas, which is coming up. But you enter the quantity, and then you put add item to cart. It will tell you that it's adding, right? And then over here on the top, you see the shopping cart next to the button that says Academy. The Academy is where you would access your program, the Clarity program, okay? So you click over here at the cart, and then it's going to go to the next page. All right. Sorry about the slowness. All right. And now you have a couple options, right? You either are done, you just check that you have the trainer that you have with quantity 1 and the price. If you want to buy any additional items, you go back by clicking on this continue shopping button, right? Mm-hmm. But if you are done, then you just go to checkout, and then it'll go to the page that is much more traditional, and you enter all of your data and you get through that. But let's just show you where you will have a chance to enter the coupon.
Yes.
I apologize for the slowness. All right. There we go. All right. So friends, I don't think that I'm going to go through everything because it's really slow, but you would enter your email here. You would continue down into choosing the delivery method, putting your address in and all of that stuff. But the discount coupon you can enter right here. You see the order summary on the right side. You see that you wanted one Clarity Eyesight trainer for the price, and you put the discount coupon here.
So it's Ainhoa with the age 10. Yeah. And when you apply,
it's going to take $10 off the price, but you do have shipping costs, right? So ultimately, you're shipping for free if you're in the US.
Okay.
Right?
Thank
There's
you.
no shipping cost. And if you're shipping to another country, it's actually going to go down. Now you see that tax is not, our company is located in Ohio. And so only the customers in Ohio will have to pay sales tax. Otherwise, you do not have to pay sales tax, whether you are in other states of the US or whether you are in another country.
Okay, Christina is asking, what is the name of the gadget I need to buy? So we're talking here about the Clarity Eyesight trainers. That's the one that Irena has been showing for most of the time of the presentation. So it's this one, yeah, with the box. Now, if you're interested, you could also get the training balls and the Brock cord, right?
Yes.
But this one is the Clarity Eyesight trainer. Yes,
that is the Clarity Eyesight trainer. That is what comes with the frame, right? And the 5 shields, as well as the headband.
And the box.
And the box.
Yes. So, okay, I don't see other questions. I don't know if anybody else has something they would like to know about what Irena was talking about, or the product that she's creating, or anything else. Otherwise, if we are done for now, then let me thank you for being with us once more, Irena, and for persevering in creating all these useful tools for us. We're so looking forward to the next extensions. But for those that are already existing, they're really fun to use and useful and practical and elegant. So thank you for all the effort that you're putting in creating these amazing tools, and for taking the time also to tell us about them and all their advantages. Thank you very much. And for everyone who came here today, well, congratulations also for taking your time, investing some of your time in your vision improvement. I wish and hope that this presentation was interesting for you. For sure, we'll be seeing each other soon and better. And in the meantime, take care, enjoy the beauty of life, and we'll be seeing each other. You want to say a final word or something, Irena?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you for having me here. I want to cross my fingers for all of you who are part of the class and who have decided to just do this and go through this journey. It is very unique. It is one of a kind, and you will come out of it on the other end with a world that looks completely different than it used to when you started. So congratulations to all of you for doing this. I hope you're successful. And if you decide to have my tools be part of your journey, so be it. If not, I hope this was still very helpful for you. I hope you understand the importance of selective vision obstruction one way or another. And I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you very much, Irena, and to the rest of you, I'll be seeing you very soon in our next live session. So bye-bye. Have a great week. And we'll be seeing each other soon and better. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.